In this problem, we have an inequality. It's a triple inequality with absolute value. So what we need to do is we need to first split it into two inequalities for us to work with. So over here on the left, in blue, I'm going to write x plus 6 is less than or equal to 2 absolute value of x plus 3 plus 1. And then on the right, we have 2 absolute value of x plus 3 plus 1 less than or equal to x plus 10. Now both of these are true simultaneously, which means that it has to fit both this and this one. And that'll become important later on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve for the absolute value. So first I'm going to subtract the 1 and divide by 2. So x plus 5 less than or equal to 2 absolute value of x plus 3, and then divide by 2. So 1/2 x plus 5/2 is less than absolute value of x plus 3. Now I'm going to turn this inequality around. We have absolute value of x plus 3 is greater than or equal to 1/2 x plus 5/2. Now when we have an inequality with absolute value, if it's greater than, what we do is we break it up into two separate inequalities. First, we take away the absolute value and say x plus 3 is greater than or equal to 1/2 x plus 5/2. The other one, we take x plus 3 and we say that it is less than or equal to the opposite of this on the right, negative 1/2 x minus 5/2. And in between this, it has to fit either this or that. So now all we have to do is get x by itself for these. So we subtract the 1/2 x. So 1/2 x plus 3 is greater than or equal to 5/2. Subtract the 3 over, and so we get 1/2 x less than or equal to negative 1/2. And then we multiply both sides by 1/2, so x is greater than or equal to negative 1. Now over here, we have to add 1/2 x, so that's 3/2 x plus 3 less than or equal to negative 5/2. So we subtract the 3. So 3/2 x less than or equal to, that should be negative 11/2. So now we multiply both sides by 2, so we have 3x less than negative 11, and x is going to be less than or equal to negative 11/3. Now again, it has to fit either this or this. So down below, I'm going to draw out a big number line because it has to account for all the solutions, not only from here, from this side, but also from the other half that we have yet to solve. So negative 11/3 we'll put over here, thirds, on our number line, and then we'll have negative 1. Now, we said that it's greater than or equal to negative 1, so I'll shade that part of the number line, and it is less than or equal to negative 11/3, so I'll shade that part of the number line. Now, we need to also figure out what solutions fit this, because it's not enough just to have this, we also need to find out what numbers also fit this one too. So now we solve this one. So we subtract the 1, so 2 absolute value of x plus 3 is less than or equal to x plus 9. Then we divide by 2, so x plus 3 is less than or equal to 1/2 x plus 9/2. Now we need to split this into two inequalities. So first we drop the absolute value and we say x plus 3 is less than or equal to 1/2 x plus 9/2. Over here we drop the absolute value, x plus 3, and we switch the sign. Is greater than or equal to the opposite, negative 1/2 x minus 9/2. And in between these, it has to fit both of them. So this is an and. So now we solve both of these for x. So subtract the 1/2. So 1/2 x plus 3 is less than or equal to 9/2. We subtract the 3, we get 1/2 x is less than or equal to 3/2. So x is less than or equal to 3. So then, over here on the other side, we have to add negative 1/2 over, so that's 3/2. X plus 3 is greater than or equal to negative 9/2. To subtract the 3, so we have 3/2 x is less than or equal to negative 15/2. We multiply both sides by 2, so 3x is greater than or equal to negative 15. And then we divide by 3, x is greater than or equal to negative 15. Now, we're looking for all the numbers that fit both of this. So x is greater than, not 15, should be 5. X is greater than or equal to negative 5 and less than or equal to 3. So on our number line, we put negative 5, we put positive 3. So this is the part of our number line that is shaded for the part in black. Now what we're interested in is both. So we want all the numbers that are shaded here and here. So we've got negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3 in here. Here we've got negative 5, negative 4, because negative 4 would be negative 12 over 3, but negative 3 is over here. That would be negative 9 over 3. So we don't consider that one. And so what we want is we want the sum of all the integral values. So we add these up. Negative 5 minus 4 minus 1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3. This 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3. And we get a total of negative 4. And there's our answer. And we're done.